Hello everybody, Wolf here. It's time for the first bug hunt of the year. It is finally warm enough out for insects and all other critters alike to emerge from their hibernations, their burrows, and wherever else the hell we live. When it gets cold. So I already saw a spider earlier that was in the front yard. But first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna check the sides of the house, which is my typical go-to when it comes to bug hunts. For some reason, YouTube decided to be an asshole and increase the threshold for mobile live streaming. So now you have to have a minimum of 1,000 subscribers in order to live stream from a mobile device. You can still live stream from a computer, but you cannot do it from a mobile device without 1,000 subscribers minimum. Now, why the hell they would do that, I don't know, but it seems they've been making a lot of terrible decisions lately. So, you know, I suppose I shouldn't put anything past YouTube. Look at this. We have one already. This is a yellow sac spider. Can I zoom on this? Oh, again. Hey. That's a yellow sac spider. A female yellow sac spider. They're called yellow sac spider because they create little sacs in which they hide. I don't see the sac nearby, but that's what they do. They are mildly necrotic venom. They have venom that is mildly necrotic. Necrotic is that what I say. I cannot word today. Oh, here's a little baby. How cute. Look how tiny. And don't worry, I'm not going to get bitten. I've handled many spiders in my day. Probably more than I should have. And I've only been bitten once while handling a spider. And ironically enough, it was a spider that is least likely to bite. It was my fault, 110%. I was handling a jumping spider, Salticidae. And it was crawling along my arm. It was a rather big one, a bold jumper. And I put my arm on top of it by accident, against my arm, in hopes of making it crawl onto my hand from the... I was basically, like, passing it from arm to arm, because it kept crawling up my arm. And then I'll put my hand down so it can crawl on it. But I accidentally put it on top of it, and it didn't like that very much. Needless to say, it bit me, and it hurt like a mother. But it was a pretty large one, too. Bold jumping spiders tend to be on the big side, typically. And they got quite the jumpers, hence the name. I don't really want to go in the mud. Oh, look. My voice. My voice. Yeah, I can see my voice. So that everybody gets my voice. I can see sound waves now. I meant my breath, obviously. There's some garlic coming up. I swear, I've seen garlic grow through snow. It just doesn't die. Snail. There's most likely not going to be much to see. I mean, you can't see it with the camera, but there's a thread of silk over here. A thin thread of silk. Oh, actually, you can kind of see it, like a little bit of a glimmer. Which usually indicates some sort of arachnid activity. The snails are enjoying the... Oh, look at that. That's not an insect. Actually, that's a crustacean. It's a land shrimp. And yes, they're edible, and I heard they taste like shrimp. Commonly known as a pill bug or roly-poly or armadillo bug, actually are not insects. They are related to shrimp and crustaceans. I also heard they turn pink when cooked, just like shrimp. It's on my bucket list to taste them one day. Let's see, anything else of interest today on this episode of Bug Hunts? It's nice that the weather is finally getting warmer, but I also don't like humidity. I don't know why I can see my breath. It really isn't cold out. I mean, just a little bit. I think it's more the humidity. like midnight frost kind of thing. Look at that. That's crazy. It's like I'm smoking. It doesn't feel like it'd be cold enough to... Oh my god, my shoes are soaked because the grass is wet. Lovely as their fabric shoes. Very comfortable in a way. I do recommend. It's like wearing slippers. Okay, how about we look for some crickets? And I'll go to my usual spot where I look for crickets. Don't be surprised if you see a black cat run away. Oh, there he is. Bye! Bye, Midnight. He'll be back. He's a scaredy cat. He doesn't like humans very much. Just the food we give him. And the warmth from the houses we give him. We give him little houses over here. A couple of them custom built. Weatherproof, hurricane proof, blizzard proof, volcano proof. Probably not. I don't see any jumpers. I don't see any crickets jumping around yet. I don't think it's just quite warm enough for that yet. We'll get there, and I'll be dying of heat stroke. I can check under some... Ow, it's a lot harder than I thought it was going to be. Yeah, everything's pretty dry. Both literally and activity-wise. Oh, look at that. You see that? That looks like an indication of either termite or ant activity of some sort, or a borer of some sort. Could be a beetle, an oakwood borer. This dust is left behind when an insect bores through some wood. And awesome. These lines are really cool, where these either carpenter ant, termite, or other sort of borer insect will leave those marks behind. And these two. You can learn a lot about insects just off an abandoned sack. You can learn a lot about insects in your environment just by, you know, exploring and observing. When you see a piece of wood that has all these lines in it and they're like heavily been eaten, it looks like a piece of artwork. I think that's really cool. It's really very dry. These wood pieces are very dry, probably too dry for any thorough or thriving insect life. I almost fell. Now this is a great spot to find centipedes. And common house spiders as well. Common house spiders like to live underneath here all year round. There's one right there, I believe. Oh, nope, never mind. That looks like a dried up one. Yeah, that's a dead one. I'll come back. Alright, yeah, there are a lot of cat holes over here. Alright, the centipedes are easy to find. You just dig under the dead leaves. I need a stick. A not soggy stick. Preferably. I'll use this for now. Not sure if it's warm enough for centipedes yet, but you never know. They love this dark, moist environment. Oh, there's one. Oh, there's another one. There it goes. They're quick and creepy. Creepy crawlies. gross. How much garbage collects over here? It's disgusting. At least it doesn't smell. Yes. I actually don't like centipedes, mainly because they're just really creepy in the way they move. But I'm a big fan of millipedes. I don't know, centipedes always creep me out. Like, I will not handle centipedes. I just refuse to. It's one of the few insects, while I respect, and I think that they're really cool, I refuse to, like, come within a certain distance of, like, touching them or anything. I'm not gonna put my hand near it. But yeah, here's a centipede. Also, they're known to be very nasty and aggressive, depending on the species, of course. Oh, what a cute little snail. You're adorable. I don't think it's warm enough to have any green lacewing eggs laying around under the leaves. Those are usually fairly easy to spot if you know what you're looking for. On the underside of the leaves, when it's warm enough, you'll see a little string, like a little stick, a clear stick, which like silk looking, kind of like spider silk. And then you'll see like a little white thing at the end of it, a little white dot, like a little upside down magic wand. And those are green lacewing eggs. What the hell? That, I don't know what that is. Let me see if I can focus on it. I do not know what that is. I have no clue. That's not a green lacewing. It appears to be attached to something. I don't know what it is or what it's doing, but that's kind of interesting. I've never seen that before. I might have to do some research on that. It has wings. It's very tiny, though. I'm not sure that there's much else to see out here. We did find a few interesting things. Nothing fantastic, though. Some typical stuff. Let's do one last look over by the tree. Ugh, I hate when the ground is wet and cold. Surprisingly enough, I don't usually find anything much of interest by the tree. This is my tree. I've had this tree since I was little. What little white dots. I don't know, but I hope to find at least one or two cicadas this year when the weather gets warmer, like in summer. I don't know what cicadas sound like because I've never actually been able to isolate the sound. I don't think I can hear them. That's gotta be trimmed. Make sure there's no spider webs. Even though I'm fairly good at seeing them, I prefer to, like, make sure. Because the last thing I want to do is walk face first into a spider web. That's not on my bucket list. These adorable little slugs. Teeny tiny slugs that like to slither around, do their thing. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if we actually did find something in this wet wood. What is that? Oh, I know what's happening here. So I have a pretty good idea. These are not like natural marks. These are made by the cat. That's my best guess. I'm surprised he wouldn't do it on this though. This looks like it's more stable. That's a big ass snail. Wow. That's a really big snail. I've got some old fungal growth over here, and more snails. Snails love fungus. Look at it. They love to eat fungus. Oh, look at the size of that land shrimp. Look at the size of that thing. That's big. And we got a little millipede. Look at that. That's cute. I love millipedes. They're chill. Oh. I heard a thing. Sorry, I got distracted by a sound I heard. I love millipedes. Hello, little millipede. Hi. They're adorable. They make good pets, too. And I think they live decently long. At least, like, 4 years, I think. This wood is so soggy and old, you can just scoop it out if you wanted. But I don't have anything to scoop it with at the moment. Probably loads of centipede under here. I wish I could find a snake or something. That'd be nice. Or a newt. I found a newt once, not around here. I can't wait can't wait till my boyfriend and we go to the Arboretum and we go hiking during the warmer weather. I'll have to do an episode there too. I hope I'm not stepping on any snails. I hate when I step on a snail. It's so sad. I feel so bad. Snails are adorable. I know they destroy plant. Oh, millipede. I had a millipede named Millie. Yeah, I know. So original. But yeah, I'm pretty sure that this is from scratching from cat claws. The wood is fairly, moist, soft enough. I have a permanent mark on one of those. I can't see it from here, but that little the wooden border. There's permanent scratch marks from one of my cats. It's like a lasting memory for her, and I like it. And it reminds me of she used to love to scratch there. She used to stretch and scratch all she wanted. I miss Nutmeg. She was a good girl. The best girl ever. This stick is too flimsy. I've buried a few goldfish under here. Slug. See, my favorite thing about this is that there's no mosquitoes out. Normally, when I'm doing like a bug hunt or something back here, this is where the mosquitoes love to breed for some friggin' reason. And they just destroy me. They eat me alive. That guy's having a nice lunch right there. Let's see if we can zoom in on that. Sometimes you can actually see the mouth parts move inside the body. And you can see the tongue, like the eat it. Cool. They love fungi. Look at that. Look at a happy fella. Bunching away. Hey, what did you do? What did you do at midnight last night? Oh, I don't know, nothing. Just kind of watch a snail eat a mushroom. Typical stuff. Yep. Look at him munching away. That's how the ecosystem works. This fungus is long gone, long dead. And this snail doing this job to decompose, I guess. Look at the organs moving. So you can see the mouth parts going in and out. That's cool. Get a better angle. You get the idea. This guy's also munching on something. Every several months, I will, off my balance, I will lift one of these rocks to try and find anything of interest underneath. And if I'm lucky, there will be an ant colony. That's heavier than I remember it being. Hey! Cool. Nice. Look at that. That looks like a termite colony. I've never seen, I don't know much about termites, but those look like termites to me. Crazy. Let me zoom in. Yeah. That's the entrance. There's another entrance over here. Look at the like how they walk along the little trails. See, now that they've been discovered and light has been shown upon them, they will most likely move. Unless they don't do the same thing that carpenter ants do. These don't seem to have their wings yet. So there's that. I wonder what it would look like if we dug it up, but I don't want to disturb it any further. So I'm gonna... How about we go over another one? Like this one. Yeah. We got another one over here. Look at that. Hope I can kill them. I mean, I know they're just termites, but I still don't like to unnecessarily kill things. They're not in an area that's going to cause any damage, so they're just doing their thing. I think that's a good way to end, good place to end this little adventure. I think it's gone on long enough. So I'll see you guys next time when there's something more interesting to see, to find, to experience, to explore, to observe. And, ow. So, oh, I got a bow in my hair, by the way. I don't know why, I just decided. It was at the dollar store, it looked interesting. My eyes are being blinded right now, but I've got dirt on my hands. Thanks for watching, guys. Subscribe, comment, like, if anyone's even watching this.